The old hospital had always been a source of local legends, but when Ryan, a medical intern, was assigned to do an overnight shift in the morgue, he dismissed the warnings as superstitions. Ghost stories, he thought, brushing off the tales of strange occurrences. He was determined to prove himself, no matter how unsettling the environment might be. At midnight, the morgue was eerily quiet. The air was cold, and the fluorescent lights flickered sporadically, casting unsettling shadows on the walls. Rows of metal cabinets lined the room, each labeled with names and numbers. Ryan sat at the desk, reviewing paperwork, the silence pressing against his ears. Suddenly, the lights went out, plunging the room into darkness. His flashlight flicked on, its beam cutting through the gloom. The faint hum of the emergency generator kicked in, restoring only partial power. He exhaled in relief, but then he heard it, a faint tapping sound, slow and deliberate, coming from the far end of the room. Probably just a loose pipe, he muttered, trying to steady his nerves. But when the sound persisted, he decided to investigate. Ryan approached the source, his footsteps echoing on the tiled floor. The sound led him to one of the body storage drawers. The tapping grew louder as he got closer. With trembling hands, he pulled open the drawer. It was empty. "Strange," he whispered, but before he could close it, he heard a soft whisper behind him. "Why are you here?" He spun around, but there was no one there. His heart raced as he backed away, bumping into the metal drawer. The whispering grew louder, overlapping voices echoing around him, each word indistinguishable yet filled with anguish. The temperature dropped further, and his breath formed misty clouds in the dim light. Ryan's flashlight flickered, and for a brief moment, he saw a figure standing at the far end of the room. It was a woman, pale and translucent, dressed in a hospital gown. Her eyes were sunken, her mouth twisted in a silent scream. Panicking, Ryan bolted toward the exit, but the door refused to budge. He tugged at it desperately, but it felt as though it was welded shut. Behind him, the whispers turned to cries, then screams. He turned to see the cabinets rattling violently, their drawers sliding open and shut as if by unseen hands. The spectral woman was now closer, her skeletal hand outstretched toward him. Ryan stumbled backward, falling to the floor. "Please, I didn't mean to disturb you," he pleaded, tears streaming down his face. The woman stopped, her hollow gaze piercing his soul. "They never leave," she rasped before vanishing into the shadows. The room fell silent once more, save for Ryan's ragged breathing. The lights flickered back to life, and the door creaked open as if nothing had happened. Ryan scrambled to his feet and fled, leaving his belongings behind. He never returned to the hospital, and when asked why he quit, he simply shook his head, unable to put the terror into words. But late at night, those who dared to visit the morgue claimed they could still hear faint whispers and the distant sound of drawers opening and closing, as if the spirits were still